All right, 1950 International L110. I just figured a video would be easier than trying to describe everything on the truck. So 1950 L110 is the cab and the bed. The cab was chopped 6 inches, sectioned 3. It still needs some welding done on the door on the other side. There's nothing on the interior that's done. It's got seats, it's got steering, ignition, and a shifter. That's it. It needs door panels. It needs little trims like this finished off. Little spots on the door need finished up. There's a couple of spots. Transmission tunnel needs finished. It's just all simple stuff. The glove box needs secured. The bed needs the sides finished up on it. Needs the front wall done. Needs some stuff back here to finish this up. It is currently registered in Vermont. Reach out to me on a personal basis and we'll discuss that a little more. But you can get a Colorado title for it if you want. Otherwise, we'll figure out the Vermont deal. Needs a bed floor, obviously. I started building the bed so that it had a nice flat floor, and I wanted the bed to be usable so it didn't get cut way up high. It does have a C-notch in it, and airbags on it, of course. Blazer gas tank. Battery's good. It's got some more wires back here for, let's see, this one is backup lights, and yeah, I don't remember what this one is. Instrument panel. I can't remember what that one is, but that's a painless wiring harness, so all the wiring in the truck is marked and identified where it goes. So I've got everything in wire looms all the way around. Nothing leaks on the gas tank. Oh, that's a fuel sender. So there's no fuel sender. I just have the wire for that. So if you get gauges, that's where your fuel sender wire goes. Airbags, obviously. All the brake lines were new. I installed all new hard lines all the way up to the front. It's got 2 Viair compressors on it. Let's see. Again, the sides of the bed need finished up. The top could probably use a little love. I was gonna cut all this back out and redo it, but at this point I'm selling it. So little holes here. The doors need finished up. I don't have any locks for it. Didn't come with it. The engine is a 4BT and it's completely stock. I haven't done anything to it. I haven't even done the killer dowel pin in it, so that's probably one thing you want to put on the list. It's got hydraulic motor mounts, so you've heard these engines vibrate like crazy. Those hydraulic motor mounts really help with that. Painless wiring kit. This is it had an AccuAir system on it, and the ECU gave out on me one day when I was driving, and so I bypassed all that, and right now, I'll show you in a minute, it's just a 2 switches on the inside, which I need to mount permanently. But AccuAir's out of business now, so you can't get parts for them. So that's kind of out of the question. This is antifreeze overflow. The chassis itself is stock, so all the steering components and everything are off a 68 C10, so you can get parts for them really easy. The only part that's not stock, obviously, is a Z under the frame. So I Z'd it under the frame so that it lays frame, gets the cab lower. One of the things on my to-do list was to fish plate these on both sides. Honestly, I've been driving the truck for almost 2 years now and don't have any problems with it. So I can leave it or you can fish plate it, whatever you want. So it is a P-pump, so it's real easy. Everybody wants those. I have burned through a couple of throttle cables. I'm not really sure why. I don't know if it's the loop is too tight or whatever, but the cable starts to fray and eventually breaks. So I've had to fix that a couple of times. It does need a gasket for the reservoir. It does have a Hydro Boost system on it. So it runs off the 4BT. That runs the power steering and the power brakes. Wheels do turn lock to lock, no problem, no matter what height you're at. And the AccuAir system, I had it set up to have I had it aligned with it at ride height. but obviously, you know, your camber changes with the height of the truck. So headlights are just little projectors. They're okay. They're not the greatest. You can kind of sort of see at night, but they're really just for DOT purposes. Parking lights and turn signals are in the lights there. So I'll show you. It does have a key ignition. Pretty simple. Left and right turn signals. Focus. Left and right turn signals, and then it's got high beam switches way up under there. So it does have high and low beams. And then this is the headlight switch, parking lights and headlights. So parking lights are built into the lights, pretty simple. And taillights work, turn signals work. So it is 100% street legal. It has a mirror, so that's all good. In regards to the air system, this was a kind of a get me by thing for now. The AccuAir ECU is underneath the transmission cross member, and when it gave out on me, I had to rig this up to get me home. So I will reroute these in wire loom and mount a couple of switches up in the dash permanently. But for now, this is how they are. I just have one for front and one for rear. So the ground clearance on this thing is actually pretty good. It looks ridiculous when you raise it all the way up, but I mean, you've got a good solid 6 inches of ground clearance under there. Oh, there's the air tank. So there's the air tank right there. See, you can see the AccuAir system right there, AccuAir valves and the ECU. I tried to find the ECU online and I can't find one because they're out of business. So these are the, this one's broke and I didn't bother replacing it because I couldn't find an ECU, so I wasn't going to bother replacing this. But these are the ride height sensors. So there's one right there, and there's one right there that's for left and right, and then one on each side on the front. If you can find an ECU for it, more power to you. You can get this AccuAir running. Just swap the ECU out, and it's got the controller right there. So what else is there? So as I go through and fix things on this and get it all buttoned up, the price is probably going to go up. So if I start welding stuff up, if I start getting this bed finished up, getting the bed floor put in it, things like that, the price is going to go up. Gas, obviously, diesel, because that's what all the cool kids drive, and then fire it up. So again, it's a full manual valve body, so you got to shift it through each gear independently. There's 2 switches down here. The top one is for torque converter lockup. Bottom one is for overdrive. So once you get into 3rd gear, you can flip on the torque converter lockup, and then get a little faster, you can flip it into overdrive. You just got to make sure you turn off the torque converter before you stop, otherwise it'll stall the truck out. So power steering, power brakes. It's a little cold. I'll take it for a little drive. What the hell? All the way down into 1st. Power steering, man, it's 2 fingers. Super easy. pickup, and then overdrive. Yeah, see, we're going way too slow for that. You can downshift. Make sure you put it in park, because it'll start. You don't put it in park and roll in. And then to turn it off, obviously it's a mechanical fuel, so you gotta pull the kill lever and it's off. Door handles, doesn't have any door handles in here, so I just reach out the side window and grab it. Oh, that's it. Bye-bye.